Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Mr. Patterson will be on soon. Um, let's keep sharing this stream. Share to your friends on YouTube. Share on Twitter. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Share on Facebook. Unfortunately, we're able to go live. We're unable to go live on Instagram today, but keep sharing. Mr. Patterson will be on soon. Let's make sure that as many Jamaicans as possible hear his voice. So just to reiterate, so my name is Devon Thompson. I'm one of three vice presidents of the United Independence Congress, and I'm here hosting Mr. Patterson. He's here with us. He'll be on with us in a few. Of course, as you all have been aware, Mr. Patterson was, of course, he had to handle some things after he was arrested. So if you're wondering why he was away for so long, that was the reason. He had to ensure that he had everything in order for his court date that's going to be coming up soon. We also had to ensure that we reached out to the other individuals who were arrested. We spoke with them, and we're trying to move forward from that. So the president does have some updates for you. He does have some things that he wants to say to you. He has something that he wants to say to the prime minister of Jamaica as well, and it's something that every single Jamaican, whether you're in the diaspora, whether you're in Jamaica, whether you're vaccinated, whether you're unvaccinated, whether you're a supporter of the PNP, whether you're a supporter of the JLP, it doesn't matter what sector of society you come from or what imaginary lines divides you. What the president has to say today is something that every single Jamaican should hear. So keep sharing, everyone. Keep sharing. Let your friends and let your family know that the president of the UIC will be on. So I just want to shout out everybody in the comment section. Debbie Jervis, we see you there. Les Brown, I see you there. Welcome. Mr. Brown is one of our biggest supporters from Canada. I see TC Charles, good night. I see Fiona here. I see Johnson here on Facebook. I see Everald Davidson on YouTube. I see some questions coming in, and I'm quite certain that the president would be happy to answer some of these questions once he comes on. But keep sharing, keep sharing. Let's get this stream up to 800. Just keep sharing with your friends, your family on Facebook. Keep sharing in WhatsApp. Tanisha Roberts, I see your comment there and I feel your pain. Kay Lewis, Michael Brown, welcome. Fiona, welcome. Yannick Samuels, I see you there. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me leave a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. What parish or what country, what city. Jamaican Carlos, we see you there. Welcome. Romario says he's here from Westmoreland. We see JM, Jamaica, TC, Charles, Clarendon. Colleen Davis is from Cayman. Latoya, we see you there. Latoya is one of our potential counselors from Spanish Town. We see Misha from Falmouth. And Misha, I know your name very, very well because you are a big supporter of the UIC online. Kay Kelly from Canada, Adrian from Hanover, Fiona is coming in from New York. O Sashanti is coming from Kingston, Unity Yard, Ocho Rios. We have Romero from Sav, Telisha from St. James, Johnson from Brooklyn, Johnny from Florida. We have the diaspora here. It's good to have you guys here. Keep sharing. Share with your friends on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. The president will be on soon. If you have friends that normally watch on Instagram, I have to apologize to them. We weren't able to go live on Instagram today. When the president comes on, I'll just turn my phone on and talk to the people on Instagram and let them know to go over to the Facebook and the YouTube page. Abigail, I see you there. Thanks for the support. Tamika Morris from St. Catherine. Prince from Kingston. We see Donrick McIntyre from Richmond, Virginia. Gary from Fort Lauderdale. Mertlin from St. Catherine. We see Debbie here from Port St. Lucie, Florida. The last time I was in Florida, I was actually trying to come to Port St. Lucie, but it's so far, and I heard it's a very beautiful place. Clovey, St. Anne. Yes, this is what I wanted to see. We have our brothers and sisters here from Trinidad. We see Jihan Francis tuning in from Trinidad and Tobago. That is what I like to see. We see Prada here coming in from Montego Bay. Prada is one of the UIC's biggest supporters. He's also a councillor candidate. You're going to be hearing a lot more of that in the next coming weeks. We see World Class from St. Catherine, Yannick Samuels, Whitfield Town. And Yannick, I know Whitfield Town very well. Richard Grant, welcome. Thule Taper from Brooklyn. Doreen Garden from Treasure Beach, making everybody in the diaspora jealous. Then we have David here from Manchester, Christine from Canada. We have somebody here from Miramar, Florida, Indiana, America. I wanna see somewhere unusual. That's what I'm looking for. We see Gerald Riley here from Calgary. Andrew from Portmore. So Mr. Patterson will be on soon, and he's actually seeing these comments right now. So if you have something to say to Mr. Patterson, you can leave those comments right now. You can tell him how you feel. You can send your support. He's seeing all of your comments right now as we speak, and he'll be on. Yeah, keep sharing this stream. We want to get as many people in before the president comes on. Don't forget to follow the UIC's Facebook page. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter. It's at UIC Jamaica, and the UIC is also on TikTok. You can follow the UIC on TikTok at UIC Liberty TV. So we have some support here coming in for the president. Praying for the president. Yes, Ramiro, we're streaming on Twitter right now as we speak. Michael Ennis from Canada. Keep sharing. Let's get the number up. Right now, I'm seeing 362 people tuned in from YouTube, from Twitter, and from Facebook combined. Let's keep sharing. Let's keep liking. So I want to read this comment here to Mr. Patterson. I really appreciate what you're doing for Jamaica, especially for the people who are afraid to speak. I just want to say a big thank you. We're seeing that. Love and such unmatched courage and fearlessness, Joseph Patterson, you are going down in history. This is definitely one for the history books, guys. Yes, the president is definitely okay. Imhotep, when he comes on, he'll talk about that if he gets a chance. So this is from Fiona, Mr. Joseph Patterson. Oh, looks like Mr. Patterson is on. Mr. Patterson, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Hear me?
Your connection, yeah, I can. Your connection is a little trippy though.
He's frozen.
Yeah.
Is it voice of it? If I can just see it here, just is
Yeah,
it
so
better?
because yeah, it's better, but yeah, but I'm not seeing. Can you guys see his video?
I don't know
I'm
why
not
it's
seeing
not.
it. Yeah.
I'm not seeing a good connection.
So because of what happened, Mr. Patterson had to go deal with the situation arising from what happened on the day of the protest. So he wasn't able to make it home in time. So he stopped somewhere and pulled out his laptop to join us here. So he's trying to get his connection up. I see that his connection is a little trippy. The Twitter page, the UIC Twitter page, is UIC Jamaica at UIC Jamaica. That's the UIC's Twitter page. The UIC's TikTok account is UIC Liberty TV. You can follow us on Instagram as well at UIC Jamaica. So the president will be back on. Yeah, I wasn't seeing him clearly either. Um, yeah. Teddy Lee, yes. Yes, Teddy Lee. Everybody is now out of jail. The young lady as well as the two gentlemen that were arrested along with Mr. Patterson, they're all out of jail, and I've been in contact with the young lady. I'm still working on getting in touch with the gentleman, but the young lady is doing fine, and she's okay. I think a lot of people saw that Unstoppable interview and they really really liked it, and that's why we restreamed it. Right? And definitely when you get a chance, you should go follow Unstoppable. I see Junior Lifestyle here from Blue Mountains. Oh, Abigail is right here. So the young lady that was arrested, she's in the comment section with you guys there, Abigail Harper. So show her some support. She is a hero as well. She was arrested for standing up for her rights, and definitely we should show her some appreciation. Tyrone, Tyrone, unfortunately, the UIC cannot call the election. No, that can't happen, Tyrone. I'm sorry. Yes. Yes, keep sharing. We're now at 428 viewers, and the president's internet connection is looking much better now, and it's fully green now. So I think when he comes back on, you will hear him clearly. I love all the support coming in for Abby. Sean, you need a UIC shirt to purchase. Okay, so if you need a UIC shirt, then you can send a WhatsApp message to the UIC's contact number, and I'll call it out for you right now. So anybody who wants a UIC blue shirt, I call it the Blue Liberty shirt. You can send a WhatsApp message to 876-293-0812. That's 293-0812. And you can start there to get your shirt. Can the UIC sue the government for harassment and breach of the Constitution? Oh, look who
Are
we
we
have
good now?
here.
Are we
Yes,
good?
Yes, your connection is green, and you're good to go. Let me know. Are you ready to take over?
Yes, I'm going to try. Hopefully, we'll have good connections continuing. Thank you very
Okay.
much, Mr. Thompson. Much appreciated for helping us with all the technology and all the connections all the time. You're a big asset to the organization. Much appreciated.
You're
All
welcome.
right, so let me begin. Everyone, good evening. Good evening. Thank you so very much for being here this evening. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all the love and the support that you have been pouring out to us over the last few days. Um, I really appreciate the fact that Jamaicans, not only here in Jamaica, but around the world, have recognized the real importance of freedom, of liberty, of justice, of choice. You know, when I walk with persons in our walks for liberty and our march on Gordon House, and I look at the faces of persons saying, my body, my choice, no force and no fraud. Um, Something inside of me stirs because I really feel and appreciate what it is we mean by this. When you think about what our forefathers have been through, the the life of a slave, not having control of anything about you, you know, not having control of your income, not having control of your choices. Somebody can sell you, somebody can buy you, somebody can rape you, somebody can, force you to do whatever you want. And our ancestors fought, they fought and they died for the little freedoms that we have here today. And today, when we as a people should be moving ahead, we're slipping backwards. And so tonight, I wanted to share with you um, not only my thoughts, but the position of the UIC on this issue of um, so called vaccination and the mandates around that, and how that's affecting us and how we need to look at it. Uh, so, once again, thanks to all of you. I'm seeing so many of you on the chat here commenting. I can't even read fast enough, but people are saying I'm ready to vote. Um, share one destiny. Of course, we're about one God, one destiny, and one nation, right? One Jamaica, not two. So thank you very much for that. I see Fox Strikes. I see Rashid Downer, one of our young, they call the Youth Republicans, or the Youth Republic, they're called. Good to see you. Marlon Lewis, good to see you. Fiona, great to see you on. Uh, Jay, Marine Row, Chippy Station, um, Cozes, uh, Romario, K. Lewis. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much. I feel the love. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. I have some very important things to share with you about this whole vaccination issue. But I just want to acknowledge you first. I also want to take the time to acknowledge our team. We have a great team of people. We call them the NEC, the National Executive Committee. This committee has been served by some great people. First of all, I must thank Mrs. Patterson, whom you don't see, but she is a real backbone of the organization, always there to not only support me, but support all the members of the executive where necessary. And many of you know her because you would have connected with her over the phone. When you call in, maybe she's one of the persons who answers. She's there to make sure you're connected with your groups. So I want to thank Mrs. Patterson for that. I want to thank one of the best vice presidents you could ever have, Mr. Devon Thompson, an actual superstar in our organization and the national executive in particular. So thank you, Devon. I want to thank Mr. Winston Wright, great vice president over there in Cornwall County. I want to thank Paulette Mackenzie Williams, who is the vice president for Sorry. I want to thank Andrew Carey for stepping up and is in training right now to be one of our vice presidents. I want to thank Kadeem Nelson, our General Secretary, for the great work that he has done and how he's helping to shape this organization. I want to thank Mr. Robert Carr. I want to thank, and by the way, Robert Carr is just a genius. He is so very knowledgeable about so many things. As a microbiologist, he plays a very important part in helping us to understand the science as well. I want to thank Ms. Camille Kulrajani, our former chairman, who has done a tremendous job helping to build this movement. I want to thank Mark Cameron for helping us with two of our recent walks. I want to thank, very, very importantly, somebody you would have seen in various shapes and forms trying to manage and coordinate these walks, Mr. Marlon Millis. Big shout out to you, Marlon. Thank you so much for the excellent work that you're doing. I want to thank bloggers like Unstoppable, and big up to Jamaican Carlos, who was there with us before many of you may have even known about us. He has been a big supporter of the UIC. I want to thank Marcia Weeks rather, over there in Barbados, the Marcia Weeks show, who has been a big supporter of freedom, a big supporter of human rights, a big supporter of Caribbean integration, things that are important to us as well. Um, it's a bad thing when you start to call names and you have to remember all the names, but you all know yourselves. You've all been instrumental, people who helped to form the UIC from way back to now. I want to thank all of you for the great work that you have done that have brought us here. So tonight, I want to get into the meat of the message. What I want to share with you. You all know that on the 22nd, we led a very important walk for liberty. We called it a march because the police keep telling us it's a march, it's not a walk. So I said, okay, fine if you call it a march. But we encourage Jamaicans from around the world, around the country, um, to express themselves, to make known their concerns, to make known their desires. Because, when you live in a so called democracy, it's the voice of the people that is supposed to carry and not the voice of one man or 63 men and women. It's the voice of the people. So when you elect a member of parliament, you're electing someone to go to parliament to represent your voice. Today we have something very different. Our voices are not being represented anymore. We have a dictator in the house who dictates, and we're supposed to just follow. They've thrown discussion out the door. They've thrown debates out the door. They've thrown objectivity out the door. They've thrown transparency out the door. And now we have uh, a process which is not inclusive, and a process which is really destructive of our basic values when it comes on to the right to be free, freedom of movement, freedom of choice, freedom of speech. So today I want to share with you some key thoughts that should define the debate that we're in right now. And I want to begin that by um, laying out the two key things that I think we ought to look at tonight. I think tonight should be a time for the truth, to know the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And so we're going to start a process now of truth seeking and truth telling. And when you get into telling the truth, you also have to tell people what the lies are, right? You have to identify the lies in order for you to be able to determine truth. So, the objective of this presentation tonight is to create an overwhelming support for the following two actions. Number one is to inform and warn the Jamaican people of the dangers of the current path being pursued by the current government. This path of forced injections, whether it's the AstraZeneca or the Pfizer gene therapies or not, it doesn't matter. It's a forced injection. And we also want to look at the suppression of proven treatments such as ivermectin. And what does that mean for us? Why are we being forced, and why is our government suppressing alternatives? Uh, we also want to look at um, uh, uh, what can we do to defend or protect the rights, the health and safety of Jamaicans. So those are the two big ideas I want to talk to you about tonight. One, the warning, for you to have some clarity around these two particular products and similar products, the AstraZeneca, the Pfizer, which they call a vaccine, which I don't call a vaccine. I call it a fake vaccine. And we want to look at why are they suppressing proven treatments such as ivermectin. And in the process of seeking to suppress treatments, they also then oppress the Jamaican people and create a significant loss of lives and cause significant suffering. So it's time for us to take actions. We've begun to take action, and now we have to look at more direct actions that we have to take going forward. Robert Kiyosaki is one of the greatest inspirations in the world of investment. And I am a financial person. I'm a CPA. So I spend a lot of time looking at financial markets, economics, investing, finance, money, and all of that. And Robert Kiyosaki is somebody that I pay a lot of attention to. So today, while I was searching for an email from one of my colleagues, I stumbled upon one of Robert's messages. I believe it to be very, very important what I picked up from this message. It allowed me to craft what I'm about to say to you today. Um, I must begin by saying I'm not infallible. Like you, I make mistakes. I am fully capable of making the wrong choices and saying the wrong things, just like any of you. But in the moment when I'm saying something, I may believe the things I'm saying, and I may even stubbornly believe that I am right. But that does not mean you should take my word as gospel. I am a human being just like you. I have the ability to think and reason just like you. So when Robert said in his message that I read today, you should be very careful of dogma, anybody's dogma, even my dogma. The Oxford Dictionary defines dogma as a principle or set of principles laid down by an authority as incontrovertible truth. That's a dogma. Let me translate that for us. It's when an authoritative figure claims something to be true and does not allow anyone to challenge what he or she thinks is incontrovertible truth. So today I'm not here to offer you expert advice and to tell you how to live your life and what choices to make. I'm here tonight to share with you information and experiences that I know to be fact, which you should research on your own and then make the decision that is best for you and your family. In his message, Robert went on to state that we're experiencing something called the virus of thought. The virus of thought. This is where misinformation is spreading like a virus. People become blindly accepting of the things they see or hear without using their own conscience, their own diligence to ask the right questions and seek out information and test information, with the end goal being forming their own opinion based on research, reasoning, analysis, conscience checking. I believe it's important that each and every one of us challenge what Andrew Holness is telling us. It doesn't matter if you like him. It doesn't matter if you're a JLP. It doesn't matter if you're a PNP. It doesn't matter if you're a Christian. It doesn't matter if you're an atheist. You should challenge what Andrew Holness says to you, every word of it. You should also challenge everything that I say to you. You should question everything I say. You should verify it. You should want to make sure that you have carefully analyzed what it is that I have said. Challenge what the experts are saying, the so-called experts, because not everybody who has the title of expert is necessarily an expert, and even experts get it wrong. Even experts make mistakes. Even experts sometimes say the wrong thing, think the wrong thing, or pronounce the wrong thing. So challenge us, challenge everybody, challenge what the World Health Organization says. Our society is now further divided by yet another imaginary line. They divided us before, they divided us into races. So we fight against each other because we're black or white. They divided us by religion. So we fight because I'm Muslim or Christian, or my denomination is Jesus only and the other one is Jehovah or something. There's always some form of division that people fight over, which is often totally unnecessary if we just respect the rights of people to choose, right? So now they have divided us again. They have divided us into the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. Yeah. So the the vaccinated or the unvaccinated are infected with the virus of thought that Robert was talking about, with a minority of us being able to find the cure. What is that cure, you ask? The cure I'm going to explain to you in a few minutes. As you go through this, you will see it. We must evaluate both sides before accepting either side of an argument. You may even find in your analysis that there's a third option that you may have missed. So evaluate them. Unfortunately, one side of this debate concerning the pandemic and the COVID virus, one side of this debate has been overwhelmingly dictatorial. This is the side that Andrew Olness selected. It is a side which is scheming to decide what they will do with our bodies without taking the time to listen to the other side. They're not interested in hearing what the other side have to say. They have made a decision that they know what is best for everybody, and they're going to enforce that come hell or high water. They are going to make sure that everybody is juked no matter what. And to achieve this, they have silenced the doctors. They have silenced virologists. They have silenced epidemiologists. They have silenced journalists. They have silenced politicians. They have silenced you. Simply because you are rude enough to ask questions. You are rude enough to attempt to cure your virus of thought. And so they seek to silence you. That's why I was arrested on the 22nd. They want to silence you. That's why Abigail was arrested on the 22nd. They want to silence you. That's why David was arrested on the 22nd, because they want to silence you. That's why Kevon was arrested on the 22nd, because they want to silence you. That's why they're now threatening to go through videotapes and arrest more people, because they want to silence you. How dare you? How dare you question their authority? How dare you walk without their permission? How dare you seek to go to their parliament building and address them? How dare you? That's the position of a dictator. How dare you question what I'm doing? Because Andrew Holness's side of the debate has unequal coverage, mass coverage. They have the full weight of the media behind them. They have the full weight of our tax dollars behind them. They have the full weight of the global foreign masters behind them. So they get unequal coverage. Their content is like a beating drum that never stops, that constantly drums into our ears with no end their version of events, what they think should be the case, what they claim they know to be the truth. I will tell you today what the silenced voices have been trying to say. Today, I'm going to give voice to those who have been silenced. Today, I'm going to give you the other side of the debate, the side that Andrew Holness and his administration does not want you to hear or understand, the side that the global elites who wish that you should have nothing and be happy don't want you to hear, the side of the equation that if you hear and understand it, you might be not sitting down in your living room watching on the television or scrolling through Facebook or monitoring on Twitter what's going on. You'll be in the streets. You'll be out with me and the more than 500 others that were there on the 22nd saying, enough is enough. But I understand you're not sure. Many people who are even supporting what I'm doing and what the UIC are doing, they're lingering doubts in their minds. They're not sure what is the truth, what really is happening here, what position should I take. Well, today I want to speak to the man in the streets, to the business owners, the large and small business owners, to the farmers like myself in the hills and the valleys of Jamaica, to the market vendors, to those in the tourist industry, the medical professionals, the civil servants in all the departments of government, the policemen who arrested me, and those who were sorry that they did, to the members of the Jamaican Defense Force, to the youth and students, teachers, pregnant mothers, Jamaicans in the diaspora, the 63 MPs in Parliament, and to Jamaicans from all walks of life. It does not matter whether you took the injection or not. I want to speak directly to you right now. Jamaicans, particularly the small entrepreneurs, the working poor, and the unemployed, have put on a brave face while enduring the hardships and inconvenience of the last 18 months of the government's pandemic response. They have navigated the increasing injustices and the loss of freedoms with no light at the end of the tunnel. So it's time. It's time for the government to come clean, to stop misleading Jamaicans into believing that their suffering is for some greater good and that suffering must be a part of the deal as we seek to manage a pandemic. We can all see the inconsistencies, the hypocrisy, the dishonesty at every step of the way. And so now we just want the truth and nothing but the truth. Prime Minister Holness, people know that God did not make the vaccines. Instead, they're wondering why you would have called an election while a highly infectious and deadly disease was supposedly spreading in Jamaica and across the world. And at the same time, you chose to blame the corner shops and their poor customers for spreading the virus. People want to know what is actually in these products that you want to inject into us. What are the long term risks? What is their risk of serious injury? What are the risks of dying of COVID 19? Let's face it, vaccines are not like seatbelts. The human body is a feat of godly engineering that human beings will never fully understand. So, exactly what is the problem with Jamaicans waiting a little longer until they become more comfortable with these products? Why can't Jamaicans get a chance to weigh the pros and the cons of undergoing or participating in this experiment? Why is informed consent being taken away from the Jamaican people? Why is your government and its foreign masters ushering in medical tyranny on Jamaicans? The local media and the Prime Minister would have you believe that the voices of the true oppositions, which are the voices of the Jamaican people, are simply anti vaxxers. He would have you believe that our voices are in opposition because we're poor and uneducated. While if you're wealthy and if you're educated, you have the correct information. Our voice is not an anti vax voice. Most of us have taken vaccines, even as adults. I took a vaccine when I was going to Ghana, but we weren't tricked or coerced into doing so. We did so of our own free will. So why can't we do that today again? What's different? Our voice is a voice against vaccine mandates, a voice against lockdowns, a voice against curfews, a voice against medical tyranny, a voice against bad governance. Mr. Prime Minister, our voice will be heard. Whether you like it or not, the Jamaican people are going to speak. We're going to speak in any way possible and by any means necessary because we're committed to defending our freedom. So now I want to point out some very significant lies that you have told us and that your government has told us, Mr. Prime Minister. Because in order for people to know the truth, they need to understand the lies. So, lie number one: vaccines are safe. That's a lie. This fake vaccine is not safe. This lie is the mantra of the Ministry of Health and the Prime Minister. But how can this be proven true? How can it be proven that this so called vaccine is safe without any long term safety data? How can they possibly know the effects in 5 years? How long does it take for cigarettes to cause cancer? What will our lives look like 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 years from now after taking this substance, this biological technology into our bodies? The Minister of Health, Christopher Tufton, conducted a community tour and was caught lying when he told the Jamaican people that no one globally who took the vaccines died. Jamaicans know this is a lie, and it flies in the face of global data. And his own ministry published reports showing 249 related injuries, which included deaths. In addition, several countries have, have actually had to halt the use of AstraZeneca because of adverse reactions such as blood clots. Young men in particular are suffering from higher than usual rates of myocarditis, inflammation of the heart muscles. Lie number two: The vaccinations are the silver bullets, and it's the only way for us to return to normal. Thousands of Jamaicans were hooked on that idea and gladly rolled up their sleeves to take part in the experiment. They thought they were doing the right thing, only to be told that they can transmit and be infected with the virus just as easily as the unvaccinated. They were told a lie. The CDC advised that those vaccinated are actually infectious carriers of the virus and should adhere to the same protocols as the unvaccinated. It makes you wonder why the unvaccinated are being blocked from their place of employment. And if the Prime Minister and the Health Minister have their way, they would also be blocked from hospitals, supermarkets, and even the banks. Lie number three: the vaccines will prevent serious clinical disease and reduce the risk of hospitalization and death. The latest data out of Israel, Singapore, and the UK and other countries have shown that this is not true, as even with a third booster shot, resistance to severe disease and even death is falling among the vaccinated. So serious is this revelation that even a fourth shot is being contemplated. Think about that. Let that sink in. Where does this end? How many more shots will we have to take? Do we need to take this once every 6 months, twice a year for the rest of our lives? Lie number four: the vaccines are effective. The CDC has said that the Pfizer injection reduces effectiveness within 2 months and is completely gone in 6 months, rendering it ineffective. As in the case of Israel, there is now a dire need for booster shots in the failing hopes of protecting the vaccinated. The Prime Minister likes to repeat what is shared on CNN by blaming the falling effectiveness of the vaccines on the unvaccinated. Parroting: this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. I mean, we have a Prime Minister who seems to be nothing but a parrot and a puppet. He just takes what is said over here and repeats it over here, almost verbatim, and often with the clear lack of understanding on the subject. I'm having a hard time talking about this when I think about the fact that the Prime Minister is supposed to be the leader of our country. Why would a leader do this to his people? What's his motivation? What's driving him? I can't understand what is the logic here. What is it that is behind the Prime Minister's commitment to apparently destroying his own people? He's completely ignoring the science and the scientists, the warning of the antibody dependent enhancement that this approach to solving the problem is creating. The fact that the vaccinated are able to create variants just as easily as the unvaccinated. Why doesn't he get this? Or does he get it, but there's a bigger motivation somewhere that's going on? Well, lie number five is key to understanding this. They're lying to us about ivermectin. They say ivermectin needs more tests for safety and efficacy. before it can be approved by the government of Jamaica. The Medical Association of Jamaica lobbied the government to be able to privately import this drug. Medical doctors in Jamaica and globally have been using this drug as a preventative prophylactic of COVID 19. Why would doctors be taking it if it is not safe and effective? Ivermectin is an approved FDA and WHO human drug. This government and its foreign masters would have you believe that there are no human versions and it is strictly for horses. They have misled you, misinformed you, and misdirected you. This drug has been in use for over 40 years, and 3.7 million doses of ivermectin has shown a safer track record than the aspirin. So why? Why? Why the ivermectin hesitancy for even clinical trials? Why are they instead testing out an unapproved drug, remdesivir, on Jamaicans instead of using a proven drug such as ivermectin? Now, I'm not an ivermectin salesman. I'm not trying to sell, I don't get any money or benefits from selling ivermectin. But it's amazing that our government seems to be a massive salesman for one particular product, that they're pushing one set of products against all others and deliberately blocking a life saving drug that has proven to be safe with a 40-year track record. Is the effectiveness of ivermectin the reason for blocking it from public use as part of the pandemic protocol? Would ivermectin help to end the pandemic and reduce or eliminate the need for vaccines? Prime Minister, our people need answers, not more dictates. Line number 6, they're just like our childhood vaccines. That's why they use the phrase or the term vaccines for it. When they know it's not a vaccine, this is not a vaccine. This is something very different. It's a new technology, a different technology, a biotechnology with significant implications. This may be the biggest and most dangerous lie of them all. The Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, and the Johnson & Johnson injections are not like our childhood vaccines. They compare these products to seat belts and sterilizing vaccines such as the measles and smallpox, with no care for the consequences on Jamaicans. If you'd like to find a real vaccine to fight COVID 19, meaning in the manner that vaccines are supposed to work, then you can look at a vaccine like Covaxin. But just as the government made it difficult to access ivermectin in Jamaica, they made it impossible to access other vaccines which you may be more comfortable with. The UIC is not an anti vax group, nor are we a pro vax group. We are a pro choice group. We believe that you should be free to access the drug, vaccine, or injection that you believe is right for you. We believe in your right to informed consent and your right as an adult to choose. I therefore want to issue a challenge to the Andrew Holness led government. To make it easier, I will put out there 3 choices on the table. Number 1, follow the UIC's plan or 5-point plan, particularly set up a public emergency council with representatives from all registered political party and civil society groups, together with experts with opposing views, and let them publicly debate the pandemic policies that we implement as a nation. Follow this and see what the results are, what comes out of this public emergency council, as opposed to simply being a dictator and being the one man who wants to say what is right and wrong for everyone. Option two, schedule a three-way debate between yourself, the opposition leader, and myself, and let Jamaica choose what is the best way forward. Let us each share with Jamaica our vision, our views, our approach to solving the problems we face, and let the Jamaican people hear from the three of us live and direct in an open forum where they can ask us direct questions. Let us have a real debate, Mr. Prime Minister, so that the Jamaican people can listen to your dictatorship plan, the support that you have been getting from the opposition leader, and the UIC's plan for Jamaica. Let the people see and contrast the difference between your approach to solving a pandemic and the approach of the United Independence Congress, how we would approach a pandemic, and how we still can fix the problem affecting us and not push Jamaicans into one direction, which may actually undermine them for years to come. The third option, which in fact I wouldn't want to put it as a third option because I still want us to look at the other two. I still think we should look at the Public Emergency Council, and I do think we should have a debate, Mr. Prime Minister, unless you're afraid. And I get the impression that you're afraid, and that's why you would have taken the steps that you have taken so far to silence the voices of Jamaicans and even to arrest Jamaicans for wanting to uh, voice their opposition to your actions. But here's a third option. Why don't you immediately pass the impeachment bill? It was part of your election promises that you would pass it within your first 100 days in office. If you're so confident in your approach, Mr. Prime Minister, why don't you pass this bill? It has been discussed since 1990 and was introduced to Parliament since early, about what, April 2021, and was first tabled on April 28th, 2021. Pass the impeachment bill and prove that you have the confidence of the Jamaican people by not being the first MP and Prime Minister to be impeached. I dare you, Mr. Prime Minister, to pass that impeachment bill and subject yourself to the Jamaican people right now. The United Independence Congress is not seeking to vilify or segregate the unvaccinated and the um, and the vaccinated. The UIC is not interested actually in any form of segregation or separation or anything like that. So we're going to oppose every attempt by the Prime Minister and the government to impose any form of segregation, any form of separation, any form of victimization on the Jamaican people. We're calling for the immediate cessation of all hostility towards the Jamaican people. And we're prepared as a movement to do whatever it takes to protect the rights and freedoms of Jamaicans. So we're impressing upon the Prime Minister not to arrest any more Jamaicans for voicing their concerns. I would also like to point out to the Prime Minister that he may have made a very significant mistake in setting up this arrangement, the DRMA, that allows him to be our dictator as opposed to being simply the head of our government. Mr. Prime Minister, you need to understand and understand clearly that the Jamaican people will never, never accept a dictator as its leader. The Jamaican people like leaders like Nani, Sam Sharp, Paul Bogle, Marcus Garvey, and of course, our good friend George William Gordon. They like leaders who defend them. They do not like leaders who defend their foreign masters. They do not like leaders who are led by the concept of colonialism. They do not like leaders who take pleasure in being appointed to the Privy Council. They do not take pleasure in leaders who want to uphold and maintain Her Royal Majesty's government and opposition. They want leaders with vision. They want leaders with respect. They want leaders who are thoughtful. They want leaders who are caring. They want leaders who are understanding. They want leaders who represent them and their cause. And the cause of every single Jamaican is the cause of freedom, is the cause of eliminating poverty. It's the cause of having a safe, the not too distant future, we the people are going to call an election. We know that the Constitution gives the Prime Minister the right to call an election within 5 years of him holding office. But there comes a time in the history of any country where the people have to take this into their own hands. The people have to decide what is in their best interest. And right now, it is not in the best interest of the Jamaican people to continue with a government that does not identify with them, to continue with a government that is very focused on implementing measures that clearly the vast majority of us are opposed. The Jamaican people do not want a government that is going to force them to do anything against their will. They want a government who will listen, a government that will understand, a government that is caring. And so this evening, we're giving the Prime Minister one last chance. We're asking the Prime Minister peacefully, cordially, kindly to stop, to roll back all of his plans, give back the money to his foreign masters, and give up this quest to force Jamaicans to take this joke. Give it up, Mr. Prime Minister, and allow the Jamaican people the right to informed consent, the right to choose, the right to move, and the right to freely communicate their dissent. That is the only way we can have a free and fair society. I'm very disappointed that the opposition has joined the Prime Minister in this quest to take away the rights and freedoms of Jamaicans. But we understand both parties are cut from the same cloth, from the colonial cloth. They came into being in the 1930s while our colonial rulers were in power. They, in some strange way, colluded with those colonial powers to continue to keep Jamaica a colonial territory, even while calling it independent. We know that Jamaica has not been independent, and now it's time for us to have real and true independence. And for us to do that, we the people have to stand up and demand the government that we want. It is very clear and very unlikely that Andrew Holness or Mark Golden will do what it takes to move Jamaica from where they have been keeping it for the last 77 years to what it needs to be. And so the UIC is prepared to lead the people to rise up, take control of their government, and create a new government, a government that will respect the life, the liberty, and the property rights of all Jamaicans equally. And so, as I sign off now, I want to say thank you to all of you who have joined me tonight. You have been a great blessing. I wish I could read all your messages. They're coming so fast, but I really appreciate that you have taken the time to be here with us tonight. In the next few days, we're going to announce the big actions that we're going to be taking in response to the government. If they decide to continue to press Jamaicans, directly or indirectly, then the UIC will have no alternative but to step up our activities to correct the situation and liberate the people. So I call upon all Jamaicans now to get ready. Put on your shoes, put on your thinking cap, get yourself engaged and ready to fight. If you're a young person who have never yet registered to vote, now is the time to go out and register. You need to be ready to vote for real change. So, every single person who has not been registered, now is the time to make sure you get registered. If you are not yet a member of the UIC, now is the time to go on our website and register to be a member. We're about to elect 63 candidates across the entire country. We're currently vetting, interviewing, screening, and training candidates. We want 63 of the best and brightest Jamaicans to step forward to serve their country. Of course, some of you are already here with us, you're already registered and ready to go. But we're going to have a national election where we allow every single Jamaican who wants to participate in electing the new Jamaica that they want. We want to elect 228 councillors across the entire country. And so I'm inviting everyone who's interested to be a councillor, to represent your community, to step forward. We're going to be electing senators. If you want to be an elected senator, as opposed to what we have now, which is an appointed Senate, you step forward and be a part of our electoral process where you can be elected to be a senator. And here's something really good. We're also electing ambassadors around the world. So if you want to be an ambassador in your country where you're living now, you're not in Jamaica, you're living in Canada, the US, or England, step forward and let us know. Register and say, I would like to be one of the ambassadors, whether it's for Canada, Switzerland, the Netherlands, you name it. We're electing diasporan Jamaicans to these positions. We're going to have the most open and transparent political movement you've ever seen anywhere in the world. And we're going to make sure that Jamaica has the best system of governance anywhere in the world. When we're finished, the Jamaica you see coming out is going to be the safest place on the planet, the cleanest place on the planet, and the most orderly society on the planet. This is the basis of true prosperity. This is the basis of good governance. And when you have good governance, you would never again have what you've seen so far. You would never again have a dictator in the house because the Constitution will be designed to fully protect your rights and your freedom. A great Jamaica is built when every Jamaican is empowered to achieve their best selves. And that is why the vision of the UIC is to bring out the best in all of the Jamaican people. Our mission is to create, for the first time in the history of mankind, a nonpartisan constitutional republic of Jamaica, one that is going to demonstrate to the world how you can have a true democracy, a true republic that really empowers the individual to be all that they can be. I want to encourage you to go to our website, uicjamaica.com, read our manifesto, read our plans for Jamaica, see what we're about to do to transform Jamaica into that safe space where every Jamaican can be proud. A Jamaica where no one has to leave anymore in order to find greener pastures. we're going to realize the greenness of our own country. And not the green in terms of a political party, but the green in terms of our rich agricultural heritage, the greenery of our tropical paradise. We're going to make that a paradise for the average Jamaican, not just for tourists. Tourists must come here and taste a slice of what we have, but Jamaicans must eat the full plate. You must be able to enjoy the fullness of your country and then invite guests to come here and taste a small piece of it. We must create a Jamaica that is the envy of the world, a Jamaica that respects the people of Jamaica. We want to create a police service instead of a police force that will respect the people of Jamaica. A police service that will treat you with respect even when they're correcting you, even when they're arresting you. A police service that will understand that we're all human beings worthy of being treated with respect. We'll have a police service that treats you as innocent until you're proven guilty, not one which treats you as guilty the moment they think you are guilty. We'll have a police service that is not political, that's not driven by a political motive, but is driven by the needs of the Jamaican people to serve and protect them. My friends, it's time for us to have a real new Jamaica. Why am I doing this? People are asking, why are you doing this? I'm doing this because I believe in us. I believe in the Jamaican people. I believe that we can create a better Jamaica. I believe that we can be a leading country in the world in the area of politics, in the area of economics, in the area of good governance. I believe we can do it. Our leaders have not inspired us to be the best that we can be. It's time for us to lead ourselves. It's time for us to create a new way of thinking, a new ideology, the ideology that every single person has it within them to make the best possible choices, and they only need to be given that opportunity to do so. Everybody must feel safe in Jamaica. Everybody must feel liberated in Jamaica. Everybody must be able to own property in Jamaica and enjoy the fruits of their labor without worrying about thieves, whether the thieves are in government or outside of government. Because there are two types of criminal: elected criminals and unelected criminals. So I want to create that new Jamaica, but I can't do it alone. I need each and every one of you to help me, to help the team of the UIC, to become a part of the UIC. The UIC exists for you. This movement is created for you, for every single Jamaican. It is not a typical political party. In fact, the UIC, if we're successful, when we're successful, parties won't be important anymore. What will be important is your rights as an individual and how effectively the government assists you in enjoying your rights to the fullest. You know, when people ask me what is the philosophy of the UIC, I say something that often baffles them. It goes like this. Our philosophy, in short, I'm summarizing it now. Our philosophy is based on the simple principle that you have a right to do with your life, your time, and your property as you see fit, provided you do not infringe on the life, liberty, and property of others by way of force or fraud. When you understand that concept and how liberating it is, then you will begin to understand what our ancestors were fighting for. Our ancestors were not fighting for equality, to be accepted in the schools of others, and to be accepted in the restaurants of others, and to be accepted in the political system of others. Our ancestors were fighting for the freedom to set up their own school, to set up their own restaurant, to set up their own hotels, to set up their own system of governance, to set up their own lives and live as free human beings. But somewhere along the line, some of us were corrupted and sought instead to simply mirror and copy and parrot what others are doing instead of being leaders. I really have a profound respect for Bob Marley, for example. The way he created, of course, with others, a new genre of music and led the world in that. I'm profoundly impressed with a Louise Bennett who took our language and made our language an international envy of the world. It's a pity that our government have not facilitated the development of that language for it to be used effectively alongside with a proper understanding and use of the English language for obvious reasons, right? So there are so many things about the Jamaican people that are stifled and suppressed by our government that needs to be unleashed. We need to unleash the Jamaican people and let them be the great people that we're meant to be. We need to get the lid off, the cap off, this suppression and oppression of government and allow the people to be who they are capable of being. This doesn't mean a free for all. It doesn't mean no rules. It means good rules. Rules that protect the rights of every citizen. Rules that says that your right to your life, to your liberty, to your property are protected even from the government. It's time, my people, for us to come together and stop being divided so that they no longer get to distract us and extract our wealth away from us. We're fighting a brave fight right now, and it's a fight for our life. If we allow them to juke us against our will, they would have crossed the last border of our self determination defense. They would have pierced that last separating line that says you can go this far and no further. When your bodily autonomy is gone, there's nothing else that is left. And so, my fellow Jamaicans, I encourage you, I implore you, I beg you, don't let this government win. Their win is your loss. If they win this battle to inject 60% of us, 70% of us against our will, they would have destroyed the Jamaican people for good. We cannot afford to lose this battle of bodily autonomy, the right to choose, the right to informed consent, the right to be the last man, the last woman to decide what goes into your body. We cannot afford to lose this war. We cannot afford to lose this battle. We cannot afford to give over ourselves once again to colonial rule. We cannot afford to allow the masters, the foreign masters, to again have full dominion over us. We must stop this government. We must rise up. We must become that nanny again. We must become that Sam Sharp again. We must become that Paul Bogle again. We must stand up, Jamaica. We cannot allow this government to get away with what it has done. So, come October 7th, I'll be in court. And I'm not going to be there to defend my rights. I'm going to be there to defend our rights, your rights and mine. And again on October 13th, I'm going to court again to defend my rights and your rights. I invite and implore all of you to join us in this struggle. Let us win those court cases together. I ask you to stand on my side on those. And after we have won those two court cases, we're going to win another decisive battle. We won on the 22nd. What did we win? We defied the government and said, you do not have the right to stop us from walking, from talking, and you will not stop us from choosing. And we are going to choose what we think is right. We've won that battle. Yes, they threw some of us in jail. Yes, they pepper sprayed some of us. Yes, they abused and assaulted some of us. And we did not lift a finger against them. We did not fight them, even though they were fighting us. They're on the wrong side of this equation. If you're a policeman or woman, you know that the right side of this equation is to protect the rights of citizens, not to violate those rights. So we're going to win in the courts as well. And after we have won in the courts, we're going to make sure we win at the ballot box. We're going to have a ballot box revolution. All those who have never voted before are going to vote now. All those who have voted before for one side or the other, or for both of them at different times, are going to vote again. All who have been pulled away from the political process are now going to engage in the political process because they understand that this is a matter of life and death. This is a matter of the future. This is a matter of the guts of Jamaica, the hope of Jamaica. And so we're going to get up and vote. I did not vote for any of these two parties because I could not see a reason to. My mother voted for one, my father voted for one, my brother voted for one, my sister voted for one, but I couldn't see a reason to vote. And I know many of you who have voted in the past have given up on the process. Some of you still vote with a sliver of hope that maybe this could be the difference. Many voted for the current Prime Minister, hoping that this was going to be it. But where we went wrong is that we're voting for men and women as opposed to voting for change. We must vote for a change of the system. The system we have is a destructive system, and we're seeing the most destructive side of it right now. And so I'm inviting you, my fellow Jamaicans, to say, let us now stand up. Let us now get up. Let us now soldier up. Let us make sure that we have our voter IDs. Let us make sure that we're forming UIC groups in our community. Let us be sure that we're getting ready and spreading the words with our neighbors and our friends that the time has come for true independence. The time has come for us to throw off the yoke of colonialism once and for all. The time has come for us to create a new Jamaica once and for all. The time has come for us to have a Jamaica that works for all Jamaicans. The time has come for us to get rid of corruption once and for all. The time has come for us to ensure that we have an economy that works from the bottom up instead of one that goes from the top down and leave most of the wealth at the top. We need to create a new Jamaica that truly works for every Jamaican. We need a Jamaica that helps the boy or the girl in the inner city to come out of that and to rise up to a better level. We need a Jamaica without ghettos, a Jamaica without garrisons, a Jamaica without squatters. We need a Jamaica where every single family is a property owner because Jamaica belongs to you. It should not be crown lands in the hands of a few. We need a Jamaica that is designed by structure to work for the average person. A Jamaica that allows you to be able to earn a decent living in your own country and enjoy a high quality of life in your own country. A Jamaica where you don't have to leave Jamaica to become somebody. So we are going to create this new Jamaica together. It's not something I'm going to do by myself. It's not something that you can do by yourself. And that's why the UIC says we're stronger together. We're coming together as one united Jamaica, no longer divided by party, no longer divided by color, no longer divided by race or religion, no longer divided by vaccine or unvaccinated. A Jamaica which is united for liberty and freedom and justice for all. So we are going to create that new Jamaica together. And we're going to put the old Jamaica behind us. We're going to retire the GLP and the PNP. We're going to retire the Queen and the Governor General. We're going to retire the whole colonial master slave economy. We're going to retire the school system that denies us the understanding of who we are and where we're from and what it means to be a black man or a black woman. We are going to put behind us the systems and structures that have undermined the Jamaican people all of their lives. We are going to put behind us once and for all the chains that they have put around not just our hands and our feet, but around our minds. We are going to unleash for the world to see what a free Jamaican can do. The power of being a free man and woman. We are going to show the world the true Jamaica, the Marcus Garvey Jamaica. They saw a small piece in him. When Marcus Garvey left these shores and went to the US, he showed the world what one powerful black man can do, even at a time of segregation and all kind of racism. He overcame and built an organization that was more than 1 million strong around the world. Marcus Garvey, a black Jamaican man, did that. If one Jamaican man could do that, just imagine when we liberate the 3 million at home and the 4 million abroad. When we make it easier for anyone in the diaspora to come home to a red carpet and without stress and fear and anxiety of theft or bad governance. When we allow our engineers or scientists or doctors or nurses or teachers to come back to their own country and be able to fully utilize their skills and competencies to rise up Jamaica, to raise up Jamaica, without any politicians getting in their way, without any gatekeeper suppressing them, without them having to pay off anybody because corruption is a thing of the past. We are going to create this new Jamaica. We can do it. We can do it because we are stronger than me. And together we can create a new future for our children and our grandchildren and our great grandchildren. I know that I may not live to see all of the changes the UIC wants to bring, but we're going to lay a foundation that's second to none. I know that there are some who will try to take me out of the way and think that if they cut off the head, then it's over. No, you cut off my head, 10 more will rise up after me because the UIC is an organization that builds leadership. The UIC is an organization that is bigger than any one man. The UIC is about Jamaica as a whole. It's about a people. The UIC is so expansive that you're going to see the UIC in every single Caribbean country. And before long, you're going to have one united Caribbean nation. And as a global power, we are going to reach in and clasp the hands of our African brothers and sisters and create a UIC, a united African people and Caribbean people. I know that's not easy. I know it may sound like fairy tale, but guess what? If you were one of those slaves 400 years ago, seeing all of your countrymen in chains and seeing 15 white men being able to control 200 Negroes, I know you might feel and say, it's hopeless. But it wasn't hopeless. Those who fought and died back then made possible now the freedoms we were enjoying and which Andrew is now taking. We now have an obligation. We now have a mission to stop Andrew, to stop the foreign masters, and to ensure that Jamaica becomes that one last bastion of freedom on this planet. We will become the land of the brave and the home of the free, or the land of the free and the home of the brave, something that America wanted to be. They wanted to be free. They tried to create a true republic. They tried to create a free nation, but somewhere along the way, they lost their way. They got entangled in enslaving another race. They got entangled in adopting certain global uh, signatories and becoming a part of a system that ripped off people, a monetary system that is designed to disenfranchise the majority and to enrich a minority. They went astray, and so they're no longer that beacon of hope and liberty that they want it to be. Well, my people, Jamaica is going to be that beacon of hope. Jamaica is going to be that city on a hill. Jamaica is going to be that lighthouse that shines the way. Jamaica is going to be that place where anybody who wants true freedom will want to come. The freedom to live a decent and honest life, free from fear and free from tyranny, because we, the people of Jamaica, would have made it so. My friends, don't give up and don't give in. Let the powers that be know that we, the Jamaican people, would rather die than live in slavery. We, the Jamaican people, will fight to the bitter end than give up that precious gift of freedom that Nani, Sam Sharp, Paul Bogle, George William Gordon, Marcus Garvey fought for, died for, bled for. We shall not give up until Jamaica is not only what it was before, but fully free. We're not even going back to normal. When this is over, we're not going back to normal. We're going farther ahead to freedom. We're not going to be a part of the vaccine passport countries in the world. We're not going to be a part of that country where you now need to declare your medical status to enter a bank. We are not going to allow Jamaica to have a NIDS program that takes away our freedom, that takes away our privacy, that takes away what makes us human. We are not going to have NIDS. We're not going to have a vaccine passport. We're not going to enter a new form of slavery. We are going to be a free people, even if we have to become self sufficient, self reliant, self focused, because we would have created a country where we can feed ourselves. So we're going to have the energy security. We're going to create our own food security. We're going to create our own water security because we are determined to be a free people. And we have seen other countries who they have placed embargoes on that have been able to succeed for over 50 years. We, the Jamaican people, are going to survive and we're going to thrive. And we're going to do it not by any form of dictatorship, no communism, no socialism, no form of ism that takes away the rights and freedoms of Jamaicans. We're going to have a free country that empowers every individual to be the best that they can be. We're going to have the best school system. We're going to have the best healthcare system. We're going to have the best economic system. We're going to have the best political system. Why? Because we have the capacity to create. We have the capacity to build. It's time for us to stop begging others to come and build for us. It's time for us to stop depending on others to bail us out. It's time for us to be able to bail out ourselves. It's time for us to be able to build our own roads, build our own buildings, build all the things that we can because we have the minds to do it. We can have the best engineers in the world. We can have the best scientists in the world. Don't tell me we're a small country, we're too small, because Singapore has proven they're less than 1/14 our size with 5 million people. And they have been able to create some of the smartest people in the world and attract some serious investment into their country. We need to unleash the spirit of Jamaicans, the power of Jamaicans, so that we can invest in our own country. We must make Jamaica a place where we have to issue visas for people to come here because of how many people want to come here and live and stay here. So, my friends, I've taken up now a good piece of your time, and I know you have many questions. I can see some in the chat here. Um, I can't possibly answer them all tonight, but I thank you for your comments and your encouragements. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor tonight, though, please, if you can. I'm going to ask you to go to our website, uicjamaica.com. And if you're so impressed, click join and become a member of the UIC so we know how to reach you and we can send you information and have you a part of our plans and processes. And you too can help to guide our policies and initiatives, even volunteering to be on one of our committees. I'm also going to ask you to help us by donating to the cause. Help us to be able to reach into every nook and every cranny of Jamaicans and help our people to stand up for their rights. Help us to defend those who are defenseless. Help us to be a voice for those who are voiceless. So go there, uicjamaica.com, and say, I want to help. I want to do my part. And together, you and I, all of us together in the UIC, hands held, supporting one another, we shall create that new Jamaica. Thank you very much. Have a good night until we talk again. It was really a pleasure. All the best.